What's up, guys? Aroneous here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video, I do want to cover the Oella fusion. This is going to be episode 1 of the Oella fusion, and I am on my free-to-play account right now. I am an endgame free-to-play player, and some might say I'm super late game, but I just say endgame, it's whatever. But anyways, Oella fusion started today. I'm going to take you on a ride through what I believe you should be focusing on for this Oella fusion, especially if you're early game or mid game. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, I do have pulled up the fusion calendar. So let me just move myself out of the way here, shrink myself down a little bit. Let me showcase to you the fusion calendar that we've got going on. Let me just go over this fusion calendar really quickly with you. Right now we've got Ice Golem tournament going on, and then we've got it coinciding with the Dungeon Divers event. And then on the 10th, February 10th, they are going to be having an artifact enhancement and champion chase at the same time. So hopefully you guys have some champions that are stored in your fragment vault here, I guess, or the summoning portal. So I've got Pythion ready to go, Seize is ready to go. He's from the Doom Tower, I believe, for Doom Tower normal. Unless he was a login, I don't recall. And then Laberga, I know she's definitely Doom Tower normal. Seize might have been actually the last login fragment champion, I believe. And now they're not doing any login fragment champions anymore. But anyways, going back to this. So Ice Golem is going on. It's coinciding with the Dungeon Divers. I do highly suggest that you complete your Ice Golem. If you're struggling in Ice Golem, you can drop back to stage 10 of Ice Golem and try to farm that, because it can farm fairly quickly for most players there. And then, of course, if possible, because we have something going on in game right now, let me go ahead and showcase that. Champion training. So we've got Ice Golem, champion training. If you can do it, I do suggest trying to farm food with Ice Golem. Currently, I'm sitting at 562 points myself. So if you're like a mid-game or late-game player, or you're coming up on late game, and, for example, you have Bad Alcazar, or maybe you have Tomb Lord, or you got really lucky and you get Theodore, those are all farmers for the Dragon or Ice Golem as well. So just do the highest stage possible with those farmers for you. Preferably stage 20, which is a lot faster than stage 24 and 25. 24 is more so if you just want to get better gear. 20 is going to be better for your energy efficiency, and you do tend to get some pretty decent pulls there as well, and farm it faster, of course. And what you'd want to do is simply go here, go back, drop back to 20, and then what I would probably do is just take out all these champions, throw in Bad L. Now, because he's negative affinity, this stage 20 is actually a challenge for the waves for him. So you could end up going to 21 potentially. And I'm not sure if mine's built correctly, if I have him built to solo. But basically, you just go through here, you'd solo. I do have him in a refresh accessory, so he has that 200 speed. I think he's built to solo, because he does have the resistance and everything. Basically, all you'd want to do is throw in a bunch of food champs and just hit the play, right? Go right through. And he's going to try to solo. You want to make sure the masteries you have for your attack, and you also put him in support masteries too, if needed, because you can gain more speed for all your allies that are dead for the support masteries. And then you can gain more speed based on the offense masteries as well, so don't forget that. And I don't recall what they are off the top of my head for those masteries, but I can show you afterwards. So I'm going to take you to the end of this, and then I'll show you the masteries that you'd want to pick to try to do a solo farm. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're at the end of the battle here, and we did make it through stage 21 just fine, because he is a positive affinity, he is force, this is magic. It's about a 3-minute and 2-second run. Best time is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So he is able to solo, and he did end up getting 4.7 million damage. Not bad. So we love that. So now we're going to go ahead and show you the masteries really quickly. So the masteries for this solo build for Bad Alcazar. So mine is in a regen set because you want him to go fairly fast. Get the regen. I also ascended his boots, got HP percentage. I also have a 1 refresh accessory on. Not the best refresh accessory, but it's better than nothing because you want him to use that A2 ability as much as possible to place as many poisons as possible on the enemies to kill them faster every time they take a turn. So you need at least 350 resistance, by the way, on stage 24, 25. And here are the masteries here that I utilized. I did end up going down to Cycle of Revenge with a turn meter, and then I used Master Hexer to extend the poison debuffs, and then I did get Spirit Haste. Now, I actually didn't do the offense tree on him. The other thing is you want to try to do as little damage to the Ice Golem as possible. I think that's why I put him on defense, is so that he could do not as much damage on his hits, because if he procs that ability where he does the big slam and both of the minions are alive, more than likely he's going to get one shot unless he gets a weak hit. So you got to be careful of that. Now, if you were just using him solely to farm Dragon 25, then you can go with the offense tree instead, because he's going to do more damage with the War Master ability, for example. And you can go ahead and get that mastery right here, Whirlwind of Death, as compared to Spirit Haste, which is for any allied dead. He gains 24 speed maximum and 6 speed, 18 speed maximum for every enemy he kills, stacks across each round of the battle. So those are the masteries. So we are back on the fusion calendar now, and just to go over the rest of the things going on. Now, Dungeon Divers doesn't always correspond to Ice Golem. It doesn't go hand in hand with Ice Golem a lot of times, or other dungeons. So it's nice that they're actually doing it at the scheduled time frame together. Usually it's like they have Ice Golem start, or Dungeon Divers starts, and then Ice Golem, one of the others, starts a little bit later, for like about 12 hours later. And that's kind of a pain, right? Because they don't correspond with each other, and then if you're farming Ice Golem, it actually won't get you points towards the Dungeon Divers event, which in turn makes Dungeon Divers harder because you're going to run out of energy faster, and then you may need to farm other areas of the game to make up for the Dungeon Diver points. So keep that in mind. Artifact enhancement, obviously you just need to make sure you have silver. So I can show you here, I got the silver up here at 3.2 million. It's not a lot of silver that I'm going in with, but of course we're going to be farming a ton of Ice Golem, right? So if I farm more and more Ice Golem, I'm going to save up more and more silver. I'm probably going to farm a lot overnight tonight. Maybe I'll spend 200 gems, for example, out of my 1600 gems that I have up here. So if I spend 200 gems, I can utilize those gems for Ice Golem and farm as much as possible, which means I'm going to get a lot of silver possible too from the gear, from auto selling. So then we go on to Classic Arena Takedown, which is right here. So that is February 11th start date, which is Saturday. Classic Arena should be the easiest thing you'll ever do. We do have 2 Classic Arenas, of course. And yeah, Classic Arena should be a piece of cake for anybody. They do lower the thresholds when you're a lower level, because if you're in Bronze, you have to do, if you're in Bronze 1, for example, and you just don't like Arena, I mean, you really shouldn't be in Bronze 1 to begin with, because there's a lot of one-man defenses in Arena these days. But even earlier game, like I could use my commons and uncommons only account and win Classic Arena 99.9% of the time, and I barely play that account. So that's how easy it is. You can do it early game, Classic Arena. Fire Knight, on the other hand, a little bit more challenging for people, especially if you're early game. Now, if you can farm stage 10, then that's fine. You can just drop it back to stage 10, use the champions to farm there, and farm it fast, right? Or if you can do it, farm stage 20, and if you want better gear, farm stage 24. So you just want to, the name of the game here is time, right? So you need to make sure you're prioritizing where you're spending your time and where you're spending your resources. So stage 24 I don't typically do, because it's more energy, and you can do the same thing. It takes a longer time too, but you can do the same thing for stage 20 by dialing it back a little bit. Stage 20 is more preferable for tournament. Now that's Fire Knight. It goes till Wednesday the 15th. Then they got Spider Tournament. Of course, the Spider Tournament there is gonna be easy for most people that are mid-game and up, because you might have an HP burner or a single target HP burner with a spread, or if you have Ultimate Death Knight, you can kind of cheese the Spider a little bit, but you might need somebody with bigger shields to pair along with them, like Miscreated Monster, and then a couple of nuke champions like Cold Heart or Royal Guard, or if you have Achak the Wenderin, really good to freeze the spiders. So But if you can't do that, you could always dial it back to stage 10 again. And you can even farm Spider with just, like, I'm doing stage 10 right now with 2 uncommon champions on my common and uncommon only account. Shield Guard, he can even do it by himself if you have better gear. Or Sniper. Sniper can do the same thing, and she's an uncommon champion. Really easy champions to get. Classic Arena Takedown. That's the second one, starts on the 17th. Of course, that's going to be easy. We do have the champion training also, starts on the 16th. So that'll be the first champion training, which we have a lot of time until the first champion training. Usually, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I don't recall the champ training being like in the middle of the fusion. I thought champion training was usually earlier. I mean, I could be wrong. Leave it in the comments down below. I don't know why. I thought champ training was typically the first few days, but either way. Classic Arena Takedown 2, Summon Rush. This one's going to be an annoying thing for most people because what I'm afraid of is that they're going to put the 2 rares in, and the 2 rares that you get from this Summon Rush, one's going to be probably around like maybe 1350. It's typical around, the first one's around 1350 or 2050 recently. They've been really high numbers. I'm just concerned that they're going to put the second one at like 4000 or 4500. That's pretty ridiculous in my eyes. I don't think they should be doing this or continue to do this. And again, they're trying to pull statistics from the game probably, and probably thinking that, okay, majority of the players that play consistently are doing this. I don't know. They keep on throwing metrics around. I started posting on Twitter recently. Let me see if I can find the message I put. So right here, I did put, please take away accuracy requirement. It doesn't align with your original facts about the blessings as a whole. So they literally said something along the lines of, right here, it said, after the recent blessings were balanced, there appeared a bug with how Brimstone functions. Once its debuff smite has landed on the target, it can be spread or transferred to other targets, whereas its duration can be increased. But the issue is they're going to nerf that probably within the next few days or so, or within the next week. And then they nerfed it even further. Brimstone requires accuracy now, which is crazy. They shouldn't be doing that, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. Anyways, Dungeon Divers, we do have Dungeon Divers 2. So Dungeon Divers does have 2 rares. Then lastly, we've got Dragon. So Dragon Tournament is in the end. That should be an easy one for most players out there. That's actually the easiest dungeon. And then Champion Training for the final event. So it does say at the bottom here that this Epic Champion here, the Epic Champion cannot be obtained from any of the Fusion's events or tournaments. And I think that's kind of wrong too. They started this is a new thing from Plarium really, where all of a sudden they're just going to not put in the Epic Champion anymore for us to try to grind for. And I think that's kind of not fair because it allowed us to get a secondary copy to build and not just have to feed all the copies into the legendary champions to fuse them. A little bit concerned about that. I'm not a huge fan of that either. I just don't know why they're doing it. I think it's because they're trying their best to get people to spend money. At the end of the day, they're a business, and I do think they're just trying to get people to spend money. So either way, it is what it is. So we just gotta do what we can and hope for the best, right? We've been hoping for a long time. So anyways, we got the Ice Golem going on. I'm at about 578 points. I haven't been going ham on it. I have been trying to work on champion training, but then I saw this and I was like, 22,000 in not even 24 hours. Yeah, nope. I'm not even really pushing that hard. I'm just going to get the champions developed for the next champion training, for the actual champion training, which is halfway through the fusion. So I would say, honestly, you don't need to be too concerned with this champion training. Try not to waste all of your energy on champion training when you're not actually getting any fragments or when you're not getting any rares. So it's just not really worth it. Tag Team Arena, again, one of those things. This is worth it because you're not really spending any energy. You're spending the tokens for for the tag team arena. And then Ice Golem, you definitely want to push as hard as you can. I'd at least get the rare. You don't have to go for the book, but if you have extra resources saved up, then I do recommend going for the book. Especially when you're earlier game, it's very helpful to have books to be able to book your epic champions. So there's that. That's pretty much it. We still got the Dungeon Divers event going on too, so you can get just one rare here at 3750. That's pretty high up there, to be honest, but as long as you have the resources, you should be good to go. Artifact Enhancement, again, starts in 7 hours. And then the 4th Anniversary Titan event, it's just free rewards. We get it every single day. Doesn't come very fast, though. Really quickly, I wanted to showcase to you, I'm at missions here for Ramantu on the free-to-play account. So right now, tournaments, I'm at 23,705 points. So we're getting closer and closer here. And then I've got the secret room done. This one's going to be done. This will be easy. Tag team. So defeat 1,000 champions in tag team. That'll take me maybe like a week or so. Or less. It should take me less, honestly. So there's that. Dwarfs is all set. This will be easy. Yeah, basically everything else is easy. This will be annoying. Get 40 max substat upgrades using rank 5 or higher glyphs. And then after that, I'm cruising right through the rest of it. So this part 7 will be complete hopefully within the next week or two. And then I'll be focusing on the final part. So that's pretty awesome from Ramantu. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys watching this far. If you have, consider subscribing to the channel on your way out. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.